Good afternoon, awesome people. Welcome to Karating Friends. I'm starting the afternoon at my brother's home right here. This is a home that was built by one of my teams, and it's all done, just a few things left. But I'm very proud of the work that these guys did. So, this afternoon, I want to talk with you about siblings from hell. I talk to a lot of returnees or future returnees, and you can only imagine the kinds of stories I hear about what siblings are capable of doing, especially siblings who live in the village or live in Kenya or in Africa, while those of us who are formerly Africans living elsewhere. So I'm telling you, some of us have the unfortunate reality of living with siblings who are simply what I call siblings from hell. And that's what we're going to talk about. But as you can tell from my background, I'm telling you, the weather is fantastic. Look at all that. And you can't believe it. Yesterday, it rained the whole day. It was gloomy and rainy and all that. And then we wake up this morning and just look at what we have. I'm telling you, I'm happy. I have never been happier, honestly speaking. In fact, like I say, the one thing we all regret is we wish we started earlier. The village is super kind. It's not perfect. We have lots of issues, but my God, I've never been happier. So I'm having a slow day today because I had lots of meetings and things to do in the morning. And then I need to do my usual fruit run. Of course, we got to rub it in just enough. Because God, I want you here. I want you to come and live with us here. So I got to do my morning fruit run. Today is going to be an afternoon fruit run. Before I head out, I have a site somewhere in Okwala. For those who know where that is, I'm going to need to go see what my guys are doing, do my usual inspection, and then get the day started. So as always, if you're joining us for the first time, you've never seen our channel, this is Wanodede, which just means the father to Odede. I consider myself as a returnee, somebody who has spent 2 decades living in America. And now I'm on the journey back to the village, and I want to spend the life of my life here. And like I tell folks, we are not practicing life now. This is it. This is the future they were telling us. I'm not going to wait till I'm 80 when I'm not able to run around and do these kinds of things. But we are living it now. So I'm not postponing life for some other day. The village gives me so much joy, and that's all I want to do. So as always, take a look at what I found here. In marveling at this, but I don't know if it's visible. Okay. Let me see if I can turn around. Look at that. All right, folks. So, okay, this is it. Look at that. I'm telling you, this variety of pawpaw is actually very small. They are very tiny, but they are the tastiest pawpaws I've ever had. I don't know where my mom found these seeds, but I'm telling you, this thing is incredibly tasty. So just a little bit of massage here and there, and then my mouth is just going to enjoy this on your behalf. So friends, you have to join us because those are the joys we have in the village. I know people who have never lived outside Kenya or Africa. Some of them think we are crazy. If they see the kind of things we marvel about, they think we are nuts. But trust me, these are the things that we are looking for. I'm sure right now the weather is probably either too hot or too cold wherever you are. For us, it's just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. So I'm here to, of course, pick the fruits for the day. And then my plan is to go do my job. But let's talk about siblings from hell. Most of us have already discussed. In my previous videos, I have had a lot of discussions with folks about siblings who are sent money and then the money finds work elsewhere. That's not unusual. Nothing new. But 99% of the time when we have siblings do stuff for us, it almost always goes wrong for whatever reason. So as I've always said, if you know your siblings are Juelo, just don't bother. There's no point doing it because you know it's only going to lead to a heartache. So don't. If you have Juelo siblings, don't do that. But I have seen a few cases where this is not even about money, where people build homes, very nice homes, and then they let their siblings live in those homes, or they let their siblings use those homes, whether you're talking about a rental property or the home you live in. Don't make that mistake, because I don't know if I've seen an example where things don't go wrong with that. I don't know, honestly. Every single time I see somebody build a house, whether it's meant for rental or a house that is meant for just your personal use, and then you let your siblings move in with their families, it almost always ends in disaster. In part because, can you imagine somebody who does not have a place to live, and then you let them, I hear something, hang on a second. Now I was hearing some strange noise, only to realize that I think one of our guys is probably charging his phone here. Oh, okay. Oh, somebody's charging a smartphone. Hello? Hello? Huh? Bisa? Hello? Well, I don't know who that is. But anyway, let's go back to siblings. Anyway, we're talking about siblings who are allowed to move in, and then they literally take over. So think about a person who has no residence, and then you give them a spot to live. Even if they have money, after a while, people get comfortable. You can imagine they've lived in a place. Oh, I'm going to turn this thing off. Guys, hang on a second. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Oh, man, again. All right, folks. Sorry about that. Those phones are called, I think they call them Tululu or Rodigo, whichever term that works for you, but they can be very noisy. So anyway, folks, so like I said, when you allow your siblings to move into your house, whether it's a home you want to live in or an apartment, they're going to get comfortable. And if they've not paid rent for some time, it doesn't cost them to live there. People get comfortable. And when you decide to then change that, where you're either going to charge them or when you need them to leave, it becomes a problem. And even when your request is legitimate and they knew about it, it's not easy, because that change often means they're going to start spending money they used to not spend. And so you might do this with good intentions. You're trying to help here and there. But if at some point you ever change your mind, you're in trouble, because in some cases, either they're not moving out and you have to live with them, or you kick them out and your relationship ends there. So don't do that. Don't do that. Now, the second issue that I see, again, besides siblings just taking money and doing things, siblings who will help you build your stuff. I've seen folks who do that, help you in quotes, because of course, people don't do this for free. They will help you do that. And then at some point, they start changing and asking for ownership rights. I've seen this in almost 4 cases where a diasporan starts building something in the village. They do a good job in putting it together. And then at the end of it, the siblings who've been helping with building that start claiming ownership. It gets worse if that structure is built on communally shared property. And that's why I said, never, never, ever build anything on any land whose rights you are not clear on. Your legal rights to that land should be very clear. This community-owned property, especially ancestral land, where it's not well divided and you don't have your title, don't just jump in and build something. You're going to get in trouble. Because sometimes it starts when everybody's in agreement, and then later on, I don't know whether it's jealousy or things happen. People change their minds. And so if you put something on a communally owned property, you're just asking for trouble. I know cases where, without saying too much, siblings help do stuff, and then when the project is all done, now they are claiming part ownership of the property. And then you go to court. And for those of you who really understand how Kenya works, things involving land can take so long. You could be in court for 15, 20 years without a resolution. And so if this is property you needed to use for whatever reason, you're stuck. To make it worse, you live away from home, they live at home. They have the networks, and probably they have proceeds for this property. All they need is to pay people here and there. Lawyers, judges get paid. You know that. There's one case, maybe 1 or 2 cases that I've seen, where a diasporan hires a lawyer only to find out that their lawyer and the other lawyers and the judges are all the same team. People just get paid, and you think they're taking care of your issues. Wait till you get to court. So like I said, yes, some of us have incredible siblings. Mine are those. For me, like I said, my siblings will spend their money to get my things done. But we are more the exception. So with these kinds of projects we do at home, if at all possible, think about the extent to which you are involving your siblings, especially when your siblings are just complete duello. Don't do that. It almost always ends in trouble. Either they will take over your property or they will give you maximum headache. In fact, I have a friend who reached out, again from a country I will not mention. His or her family are now asking her to pay them so that she or he can get her property. So you can imagine sending money home, building a property that is supposed to be generating money, and then actually, here's what makes it even worse. If you let them collect rent, oh, you are doomed, because they're going to get used to that money. And when you're taking that away, some siblings could even organize people to harm you. So never ever put siblings to collect money. It almost ends in disaster. There are just a very few exceptions. Don't do that. So now in this case, like the friend I'm talking about, now the family is asking him or her to pay so that he or she can get back his or her property. It's very sad. So yes, out here, unfortunately, some of us have siblings from hell. Keep it to a minimum. And like I told you, I've always said in my videos, do not suffer because of choices made by other adults who have nothing to do with you, what you care about. I cut people off. So if you're one of those siblings that is going to give me headache, I can say, I cut you off. And I don't think twice about it. Because like I say, life, we are not practicing life, we are living now. And so if there's one person who is causing me misery, I simply keep you outside my peace circle. That's it. And life moves on. Anyway, folks, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next. Bye.